So we founded our company in 2012. We've kind of grown pretty quickly over the last few years, even more so than any time. Like we've been listed on Inc. 500 multiple times, Financial Times. We were HFA's Retail Partner of the Year. And we do a lot of cool things in the advertising technology world. Really just trying to solve for different issues and different problems that retailers have every day and provide them with technological solutions that they can use to advertise to people and drive better outcomes. You know, customize your foot traffic, get better quality traffic coming into your store. And you know, I do a lot of these talks, and sometimes it seems like we're always talking about the same things. And I thought this time, since I'm going to be talking to you a little bit about a new product that we just launched, I also wanted to include in here some really good tips and tricks for you, things that you can do right now in your retail store, in any location, and really improve just your marketing and advertising across the board. So I'm going to give you some of my little secrets that I always used, and to give you a little bit of background, I used to sell hundreds of millions of dollars worth of product online. I was a really big email marketer back in the day, started a Facebook marketing company. We basically stood in the middle of products online and just drove a ton of traffic selling every day. And so a lot of the things that we used back then in order to get that traffic to, you know, make sure that we were profitable are things, little things that you can do in order to improve your own marketing and save some money and actually make more money off your sales. So I'm going to share with you a couple of my favorites, and then we're going to talk a little bit about Unmasked. So the first one that I want to outline for you is with regards to email marketing. I talk to retailers all the time that are doing a little bit of email marketing, and most of them are using something like MailChimp, which really kind of pains me when I hear that, because the delivery on it is just really quite terrible in comparison to the other things that are out there. So, you know, my favorite thing to use is called NetAtlantic. You won't hear about NetAtlantic when you're looking for an email service provider online. If you tried to like look up, you know, major email service providers, they'll never show up. But I can guarantee you they are the best. And they're hidden for a reason, is because they are the best. And this is a little thing that agencies will do, is most of them use NetAtlantic, but you're allowed to sign up directly with them yourself. But we know, obviously, if we use NetAtlantic, that we're going to get the best delivery. Now, why am I so concerned about the best delivery? Well, if you're emailing your potential customers and it's not getting in their inbox, then you're not actually emailing them. You're just sending it to the junk folder, which just costs you money, ruins your domain reputation over time, and then it's just going to make you getting your email into the inbox even harder. So NetAtlantic was originally known as basically almost like the front end for what's called Lyris. And Lyris is a very strong, like, back-end email program that would also allow for you to see basically whether or not your email was actually hitting the inbox. So they have the ability to feed you these feedback loops to tell you where your mail is exactly going. Now, sometimes switching to a new email service provider can be difficult. And oh, by the way, I'm sure a lot of you are wondering like how much this costs, like to use NetAtlantic. It is very cheap. We're talking like a couple $100 a month. It is the pricing is ridiculously low for what it is that you get. But if you use their platform, you will go directly into the inbox like all the time. I mean, it is a huge moneymaker. If your team is stuck and you're like, oh, I can't get off of MailChimp, I can't get off these things. My other tool that I used to always use is this MX Toolbox. So MX Toolbox is a site you can go to and you can check whether or not your domain is having some health issues. So you email, I imagine, at least once a week, you know, to all of your past customers saying, hey, we have this sale going on. It's very likely that you're actually probably on some spam blocks that you don't even know. MX Toolbox will tell you if you're on those spam blocks, so you can ask to be removed from them. They also have a paid component that basically does what NetAtlantic does on the back end too. So you can pay for them to just monitor the delivery of your email and tell you where it's going. You want to know where you're going so that you can improve, and then you can basically use this to figure out like, hey, when I run a Memorial Day sale, I always go into the spam box, okay? When I take out this word, I go into the inbox. They help you with modifying all of that in order to make sure that you're actually getting into the inbox. You know, when you're sending emails for commercial purposes to advertise, you know, probably about 60–70% of that email, you know, goes to the junk box just generally, and then you're pretty lucky if you can get 30% in the inbox. When I would use NetAtlantic, I used to have around 86 to 87% inboxing all the time. Didn't matter if it was Gmail, Yahoo, anything. It is a very robust platform and program. And so if you start using things like this, you'll increase your deliverability way through the roof. You'll make more money off your email marketing, and this is something that you can literally just go home and do. Yeah?
What would you classify a good open rate being?
That's really sort of a loaded question because it depends on the way that you sent it, right? So the most open types of emails and the easiest way to actually send a spam email, if you want to call it that, and make money is actually just to send a text email. That like you shouldn't have any images in it. You shouldn't have really anything in it other than just an email from your store manager or whoever saying like, hey, we're having a sale this weekend. I wanted to personally invite you to come down. If you sent that versus sending like, hey, we got this couch on sale for $700 off and all, blah, 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 the text email will do way better. Your open rate on that will be way higher, and the actual usage of it will go through the roof because that appears like a normal email, like me emailing you. Versus this one, they know it's a sale thing, right? So I also have to already be in the mood to even look at that. This one, I'm like, oh, look, that was nice of them to invite me. They don't need to know that it's actually a mass email to everybody, but text emails work the best. And simple subject lines, like if you do something like that, you'll get really high open rates. We used to get open rates, if it was a really, really, really good campaign, an open rate that was like higher than 40% for if it was like a sale type email, right? Not text. 40% when you would do something that was text, you'd probably be somewhere in the range of like 58 if it was really good. And then on a bad day, a bad email would open at like 10%.
For those of us who are designers,
Yeah.
have brick and mortar, and it's all about how pretty it looks.
Yeah.
We have to include graphics.
Yeah. You would think so, right? But like, you could also come up with a well-crafted email where you're just like offering to introduce them to something new, and then you could maybe send like you could attach a picture and say like, hey, I wanted you to check this out. But the whole point is that soft selling works better than hard selling, and when someone sees something as an advertisement, they have to be in the mindset to absorb that advertisement. Versus when I'm communicating with you, you're going to hear what I say. So. It just makes for easier email delivery too, right? Like the more images you have in your email, the more that the spam filters know that it's spam. If you say the words sale, free, all these sort of things, the spam filters are going up. There's actually a scoring method that they use through what's called Spam Assassin and can figure out what your email scores at. So like below a certain threshold is going to the inbox. Above a certain threshold, not going into the inbox. And so tools like this will have a pre-email scan on it. So you load in your email, and then it'll tell you, what's your score? What's my Spam Assassin score? So if you can keep that under 1, you're guaranteed to go to the inbox. If you write a text email, you'll almost always be under 1, unless you use some like silly words in there that are going to like really get picked up. The next thing I wanted to talk about is just my little tricks for Google search traffic. We don't run Google search traffic at our company for retailers. We do it on occasion. I shouldn't say we don't ever do it. We just do it on occasion, but it's not really what we do. So, but I've obviously ran a lot of this type of traffic, and I can tell you how this works. We do, however, run this traffic for some of our own companies that we own, and so I'm going to tell you what we do. And the first one is you have to go super local, right? A lot of times people are bidding on certain key phrases like furniture stores near me, right? But what you have to remember to do is to dial down your geographic location in there. So when the person types in furniture stores near me and I'm in Apex, North Carolina, I want my ad that returns to say furniture store in Apex, North Carolina. Even if my store is in Cary, I'm still going to say Apex. Why am I going to do that? I'm not doing it because it's going to engage necessarily better with the consumer. I'm doing it because Google is going to see it as a more relevant result, in which case I'm going to get charged less per click. I'm going to have a better engagement score. I'm going to get listed at the top more easily. And I can jump over all my competition without having to spend an arm and a leg. Most people just don't set up their campaigns like that though, right? They write like one ad creative, they put it in, they buy the search terms and they just let it go. And maybe they say, hey, I want to go in these 5 areas. Well, you need to segment them out, go super local because it'll cost you less. You'll get better results. Why spend that money on search traffic if you're not going to actually capitalize on it? So the second thing is, and I don't see this very often in the furniture side, except for when people have like a mattress by appointment store, but the theory still rings true. So Google has like a Google lead generator form in their search traffic, where a consumer can actually can submit their information to you without ever having to actually click into your website. Right? So if you enable the Google lead form on your search ad, a person can click a button, send you all their details, name, phone number, email address, all this stuff, and say, reach out to me, I'm interested in setting up an appointment to go over a design idea. Or I'd like to set up an appointment to come in for a sleep study to lay on the mattress, and you have to figure out how you're gonna work that. But these things are frictionless, right? Because I didn't have to click through to your site. I just clicked the ad, little icon, and I've sent my information to you. They work really, really well. You just have to be creative with how you get people to actually engage with it. But Google wants people using this, right? So they also give you better rates when you use this type of stuff in your search traffic. So enable it. You'd be amazed at how much you're going to start getting leads inbound, and they'll just get emailed directly to you. So then you can share those with your sales staff, have them reach out to these people, and get them in the door. If you do this, you'll start seeing leads literally the next day, and you can really convert that traffic at really high rates. So I'm going to talk a little bit about. Oh yeah, go ahead.
Sorry.
Yeah.
So back to that other point, the quick forms.
Mhm.
And you do the same on Facebook and Instagram too.
Yeah.
So we've done that a lot, and what we've found is, and again, it's different business and brick and mortar.
Yeah.
As a designer, when we want them to go through our website, see our portfolio, see our process, it's a bigger relationship commitment
Yeah.
to work with a designer than it is to go to a brick and mortar and buy a sofa.
Sure.
So would your strategy be the same there? Would you want them to go through that? Because like my lead capture form on my website
Yeah.
is a little bit more in depth.
Yeah.
It's asking them, what city they live in,
Yeah.
what's their time frame, what's
Yeah.
their budget parameters, and
Yep.
it helps me weed them out
Yeah.
in some ways.
Yeah, I mean, if you're trying to weed people out, then sure, you want them to go to your site and see all your things because you don't want to have to be spent talking to a bunch of people, maybe. But for most businesses, and I don't know your business in particular, but I just want more people in the door, right? If I can speak to 1,000 extra people a month, I'm going to sell more. I'm going to get more business. So if I'm making that process of getting to the first communication with them as frictionless as possible, right? If they have to go to my website and they have to do all these things and they have to fill out a form, right? Those are steps they have to take. And there's a lot of opportunity in there for that person to fall off the site, to get distracted, to get a text message from someone, and then all of a sudden they moved on to the next thing and it's lost. Versus just in that ad, in 2 seconds they say, yeah, it would be really interesting if we had a designer look at our kitchen. And they submit their information. They might not be ready to buy right now. They might not be ready to do a design right now. But now you have their information. You can put them into an email cadence. You can start talking to them. You can send them emails about, hey, checking out this new portfolio that you just released. But you have the data in order to follow back up with them. And data is key to all of this. It's the longevity of your company is all based on the data that you hold. Because that's your past customers that will also be your future customers that are also your referral sources. So the more of those people that you can get every day, the better. And even if you talk to 100 of those people every day, and then in the end they're like, you know what, I think I want someone else, I like a little bit of a different style. But you just talk to 100 people about your business who probably also know 100 other people, and they might at some point meet someone who goes, hey, I saw this designer once. She had this really cool kitchen idea. You should check it out. And so it doesn't matter really in the beginning. You just want the value of the traffic, right? So I would just go for it and take the lead. So moving on to SEO, I think SEO is one of those things where a lot of people say they do SEO. The reality is that most don't. And I'm even talking about the services that you buy and pay for people to do your SEO. I've never really met anyone that sells an SEO service on a monthly basis that actually does SEO correctly, or does it in any meaningful way that's ever going to help a retailer or help a designer or help anyone in this market. Almost all of them are doing the exact same thing, which is basically just managing your metadata, posting some blogs and doing some content stuff, and they're like, oh, it'll happen next year, it'll happen, and then you get to next year, like, well, we're not ranking any better. Oh, it'll be another 12 months. Most of the time, they're not really doing anything. So there are 2 really simple key things that you can do to change your SEO pretty much immediately. So this is a little bit more, it used to be a little bit more intensive of a process, but thanks to things like ChatGPT, this all can be done in literally a matter of minutes. So the first strategy is you basically want to go and buy these exact match domains. So if you go into Google right now on your phone and you search for what's the best sofa or furniture sales near me or something like that, right? At the bottom, there's always related searches. Google tells you what all these related searches are. Those related searches are the exact match domains you want to buy. What do I mean when I say exact match domain? If the related search says, Mattress Stores Henderson, Nevada, then I would buy the domain Mattress Stores Henderson, Nevada. And then I would put content on that site, and I would have every article on that site, somehow linking back to my store, to my website, through those articles. And what's that going to do? When people start searching for that related search, which Google already tells you that they do, then that domain that you bought, that exact match domain, is going to start to rank higher. And because that one's ranking higher, it's also telling Google that your website, which I've linked to in every single article, is really the true authority for mattress sales in Henderson, Nevada, and then you will rank. So you need at least 10 domains to do this. By 10 different exact match domains. You have to probably put up a minimum of like 100 articles on each of the sites, right? And that sounds daunting. If you haven't been to ChatGPT and checked out like how fast you could create like 100 articles, it literally takes minutes. I could tell ChatGPT to write me 100 blog articles on furniture stores and furniture in the furniture business, and always relate it back to, you know, Las Vegas, right? And it will literally just go and do it all for you, and it'll be done in minutes. We did an exercise. I'm part of this mattress mastermind group, and we had a big meeting on Friday of this week. And we were talking about basically the benefits of OpenAI and ChatGPT and what you can do. And one of the exercises that we had to go through there was that we had to build a brand, build a website, build the backstory, build the promotions, build everything, and we had 15 minutes to do it. Everybody in the mastermind finished it in less than 15 minutes because we used ChatGPT to do it. So check that stuff out. You could do this. Literally, we tried to do this for people before, like where we were going to do this as a managed service, and we realized very quickly, like this is before ChatGPT, we couldn't do it because the amount of articles we had to write and the people that we had to keep up with in the sites, it was like, oh my God, we're going to lose money and just time costs to do this. But now with this, you could do this on your own and have someone in your team literally just go in and generate you 20 articles and you're done, right? So, strategy 2. So, this is a little unknown secret. And most people would never tell you this. So you can take a picture of this, Grindstone SEO. If you go to this website, you're gonna think I'm crazy. So this website, Grindstone, Grindstone's a person, but he is the best SEO marketer I have ever met in my life. And he does not have like a big agency or anything like that. He owns websites all over the web in all sorts of different niches, from, you know, bicycles, so who knows? I mean, the guy's portfolio is massive at that, but he ranks in some of the hardest things to rank in on earth, and he is at the top of Google always. So everyone always went to him for tips and tricks. You know, like you'd see him at a conference, it was like, you know, this is the guy. Like if you could get him to give you a little bit of insight on what Google was doing or changing, you could really stay ahead of the game. And everybody always looked to him. Well, he started offering consulting services, and he offers an SEO link building package. And so, you know, people would say like, oh, look, if you're gonna pay for links, that's a bad thing, right? You know, like our company, you know, got listed on Inc. 500. When we got listed on Inc. 500, one of the first things they did was they reached out to us and they said, hey, would you like us to write an article about you because you were in the Inc. 500? And I was like, well, yeah, that would be great. And they said, okay, well, that'll be $10,000. And I was like, whoa, I thought you'd want to write an article about us. No, what they're really doing is selling SEO, right? So they'll write a paid article about you, and then they'll publish it, and they'll give you the link, and now that's going to help your SEO, right? That is link building. It's just dressed up in a different way. So this is what true link building does, and he'll do this for $100. So it's worth it every day. And essentially what's gonna happen is he's gonna do like a PR strategy, which means that he's gonna put your link on some of his sites that are really highly ranked, which is gonna make your site highly ranked. And it costs you $100. That's SEO. And that can be done today. So there's other things on there, obviously, like he's got consulting packages, and look, I don't work with him or for him or anything. I normally wouldn't tell anybody about this, but this is like a legitimate thing that you can do that will change your site in literally a matter of weeks. But don't expect any reporting from him. Don't expect him to care about you. Don't expect any of that, because he's not going to. He's just gonna do this for you. He even says in here, don't ask me for a report. Like, he's not gonna give it to you, but he'll put your link there. So, you know, and then you're done. Let's see. Oh, okay. So now the real reason why I guess we're here, now that we're done with some of those tricks. This last quarter, we started launching this product Unmasked. And I personally think that this is going to be the biggest product that we've ever pushed, done. We are going to be bringing this to the globe if we can. And so to tell you a little bit about what Unmasked does, we put a little piece of code on your website, and when a visitor visits your website, we unmask them, right? We show you who they are. We show you what their name is, what their email is, what their phone number is, what their home address is. If we can link to their business information, we'll show you where they work, what their job title is, what their work email is, what their work phone number is. So we'll provide you with all of this information. You log into our dashboard and it's there for you every day. So you can see all the leads that are coming onto your website. When people visit websites, less than 3% of traffic generally tells you who they are. You pay for 1,000 clicks off of Google, maybe 30 of those people are going to fill out a form, raise their hand and say, hey, I'm interested in. But there's another 700 plus people, 800 plus people on there that you still need, right? Or would want. Well, that's what we do. We show you what that 700 is. We can only unmask about 70% of your traffic. We're never going to match with 100% of all the people. We don't have data on everybody in the world, right? So, but with the people that we can unmask, it usually works out to about 70%. So you go from paying for 1,000 clicks off of Google for search and only knowing who 30 of those people are to now knowing who 700 of those people are. One of our big retailers put this on their site a couple of weeks ago, and over the weekend, when they came in on Monday, they had 5,300 new leads for their team to reach out to. 5,300. Now, they don't even have to be good at selling to make more money with that amount of leads, right? They can take this data and they can do just about anything with it, right? I can put it into an email drip campaign. I can send it through our partners at Connect and start texting with them right away. I can have my sales staff that is sitting in my store on a Wednesday afternoon with no one in there, just picking up the phone and just start calling. I'd rather have my sales staff picking up the phone and dialing people than sitting on the floor doing nothing, playing on their iPhone, right? You're paying them, make them work. So how does this work? People always ask this. There's a couple of things that have to happen. There's some compliance that goes into this, right? You have to have a cookie pop up on your website where the person basically opts into this whole system. And then once they click the accept all cookies, then our pixel fires off and it matches them to over 2 trillion different data points. And what it's doing is it's taking little bits of data from all around the web and it's putting them back together in order to give you the profile of this person. Most of this is fueled with what's called exhaust data. When you go to someone's website and you fill out the form on the back end like you're going to buy it, and then you decide, I don't really want to do that, but you put in your name, okay? Well, your name was captured along with some other identifying information. That's exhaust. So then on a different website, you put in your name and your email. Oh, okay, now we know email, name. Maybe over here you put your phone number in because you logged in with a phone number. All these little tiny bits of data that are like sort of like abandoned data is exhaust data, and it gets basically thrown away for most, or at least it had been thrown away. Now it's being actionized in order to create the world's new identity graph. This year, Google is going to be eliminating cookies. One of the massive things that's going to happen when they do that is that you will no longer be able to do retargeting on your website. Retargeting is going to go away. Massive companies like LiveRamp still haven't figured out what they're going to do in order to combat this change. Well, this solves that. After they make that change, we'll probably see a slight reduction in unmaskings for about 30 days. Not a complete, but it'll be a slight reduction. The reason is because the entire system is going to change from third-party pixel to first-party pixel. And not to bore you with details, but all that means is that now you're in control of the data. And so we've already set this up to be ready for that, so that way you'll be able to power new retargeting campaigns and still actionize all the people on your website. But remember at the beginning I was saying, like, look, use the Google lead form, right? They click it and it removes the friction and you get the data. And really what the thing is that you want the data, right? But not everybody's going to fill out that lead form. Some people are going to visit the site and only 3% of those people are going to tell you who they are. Well, now you can unmask all the remaining people that are all there for you to continue to sell into. Now you have the data that is going to power your store and power growth. Everybody's always worried about, like, well, how do I get more foot traffic? How do I get more foot traffic? No, how do you get more sales? This is how you get more sales. You can take this information anywhere. The process is really quite seamless and easy to do. Once you sign up for this, one of our implementation people will guide you through the setup process. We show you how it needs to be installed, what you got to do. If you don't have a cookie pop-up, we connect you with a partner that has like a really turnkey solution to make a cookie pop-up on your site. And then you're up and running in about, I'd say like a week, maybe 2 weeks if it's slow. But quite honestly, you can turn it on tomorrow, and then all of a sudden you're just generating more sales. And if you have something like a Connect where you can start texting with all of these people right away, you do need to make sure that you follow the law, right? You have one text message to ask for permission to text them. So make that first text message very thoughtful. Say, hey, this is so-and-so from, whatever store. I'm here to answer questions, if you have any questions about, our furniture lineup or, the offerings we have in the store. We're happy to help you. Reply yes if you'd like, to sign up for more texting. And, look, is everybody going to say yes? No, but some will. And if you have 5,300 of them to talk to, your salespeople are going to be pretty busy. So you might want to get a chat bot or something to take over for you, because you're going to have way more conversations going on with customers than you've ever had before. Last fall in October, we bought a gym. Our ad tech company bought a gym. It's called Fitness Together. It's a franchise. We wanted to put our money where our mouth was, right? We said, okay, let's go out and buy a failing franchise. Let's buy something that needs a lot of help. And let's go prove that we can turn them from being one of the worst franchises in the nation to one of the best franchises in the nation. And we did that all within a matter of 4 months. We bought it in October. When the report came out here in January, the people at WellBiz Brands, which is the corporate umbrella for all of Amazing Lash Studio and Drybar and all these things, they also own Fitness Together and some other stuff, they were calling me nonstop to figure out how we had changed that business from basically being the last one in the nation to being in the top 10. So it works, and our salespeople are just our trainers, right? So these aren't even salespeople, right? All we did was the guy that is running the gym for us, Tyler, I said, stop training people and just start calling people. Let the other trainers train them. All I want you to do is every day you're going to call everybody on this list. And if you call them, you're going to offer them the opportunity to come in for a free training session to meet you. And so he would call him up and he'd say, hey, this is Trevor from Fitness Together. We saw that you were on the website and that you might be interested in some personal training. Can I find out why you didn't go through with actually signing up? And he's like, well, I wasn't quite ready. I'm not sure. They're feeling quite intimidated. All that. And he just goes, look, just come on down. There's no pressure. It's a private environment. Come on down. Let me train you for 30 minutes. And I'll just see if you're ready, and maybe if you enjoy it, you can talk to us a little bit more about that. Person comes in. Out of all the people that he called, everyone that he got on the phone, no one turned down the opportunity at the free training session. They all came. We filled that place up. It is busy from 5 a.m. until 9 p.m., Monday through Saturday. We actually started opening on Sunday now because we didn't have enough spots to train. We're limited by space and time. There's 3 rooms to train, 3 trainers can train at a time, and now every time slot in that place is full. We have a waiting list. We had to slow down the marketing because we were just basically wasting money now, because we don't have any room for any more people. It's full. And we did it in 4 months, all because of this. So think about what those conversations can bring. I'm just going to end with just a couple of things so you know a little bit more about what we do. Our company really is an ad tech company. We base ourselves on data and insights. And so a couple other cool things that we do is we have this geoframing technology where we're able to go all the way down to a single meter level. So think about it this way, if you're in Lowe's or Home Depot and you're on an individual aisle, we could look at that individual aisle and see who's shopping for a fridge versus seeing who's shopping for a washer dryer. And then you can use that to empower marketing. And what this allows you to do is to actually have advertise to people on a one-to-one basis. So the thing that sets us apart from everybody is that everything that we do is on a one-to-one basis. I'm talking to you. So in your market, most time when you go out to advertise, you go and say hey, I got a budget of this, I'm just gonna spend. And if I'm in Dallas, Texas, and there's millions of people there, I'm never really going to have enough money to advertising that way. And so what we do is we select out of the market for you those people that you actually need to advertise to grow your business and to improve it. You don't need to advertise to a million people. You just need to advertise to the right 10,000 people. You advertise to the right 10,000 people, you get them into the store, you make more money. The technology, usually for retailers in the furniture industry and mattress industry in particular, these are the types of campaigns that seem to work the best. And I know we have some designers in here. One campaign that I've always thought would be amazing to do with designers, and we don't really work with that many designers, but it's our Friends and Family campaign. So our Friends and Family campaign, which I think is one of the coolest things that we do, it basically looks at a person and then who they interact with for 45 days. So if I delivered furniture to your house, after the date of delivery, I'm going to extract out all the friends and family members that visit the house and serve them with ads. Because now I've just had a real in-person review of your product, your service, your delivery, right? If I got a new living room set, you think my friends aren't going to sit on the new couch that I got? They are. And don't you think I'm going to point out, hey, look at our new couch. Where did I get it? Oh, I got it down here. They were great. You know, they came in and they delivered it, gave a dog treat to the dog, and like, you know, I just gave a real in-person review. Forget about a Google review. I really want to capitalize on that word of mouth traffic, you know? And so you can do that with just about anything. And so like whether or not you're hitting a mover or going after the neighbor or, you know, pulling out the in-market shoppers, all of these things can empower your business to grow. And you can also use all the data from our dashboard to basically look at your market. You would be surprised what's out there from power and capability, especially in the retail side. You can look at you know, your competitors. Where do they get their customers from? What is your market share in the market? All based on foot traffic. All these types of analytics are available to you in our platform. So, you know, if you have like slow weeks or weekends or months, you don't need to worry about or wonder if it's your store, if it's someone else. You can look at the market and figure out what the market is doing. So that way, if my store's slow, well, maybe the whole market's slow. Well, that's not really me, that's an economy problem, right? Or maybe this other store down the street's actually doing a lot better. Well, what are they doing differently than I'm not doing? You know, do they have a new, you know, something new on the floor that's attracting them in? Do they signed up Purple and Purple's running them a bunch of traffic? You know, what's going on? But now you have something to look at in order to find out what's going on in your market. So if you scan this QR code, it'll connect you right into a scheduling tool where you can set up a call with our team. And we also have a booth out here in the Resource Center against the far wall on the other side. If you want to stop by, talk to us, you know, some of our team members will be there and happy to answer any of your questions. But thank you for having us today. Yeah, thank you.